This guy's clueless, man. I'm telling you right now. If he'd have sit down, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether he sit down with somebody to help him get that promo together or not. But I'm sure if some of the writers, or maybe they might have been scared to tell him. But if he went over that with somebody before he went out there, I'm sure somebody would have told him, "No, we can't say that."
Look here. Go ahead.
What I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't. Because he said we have some time here to just kind of go places. I want to defend something that Tony Khan did.
That's where I was about to go.
Not the WWE thing where he called him Harvey Weinstein. Mm-hmm. Wrong. It was wrong. It was bad taste. He should not have done that. But what he did went back to old school, and everybody's knocking him on this, and I will not knock him because I love this. When he got hurt in a storyline and he wore that neck brace and he wore it for both days of the NFL draft, good for you. Andy Kaufman wore that neck brace for weeks after he allegedly got hurt by Jerry Lawler. Tony Khan did the right thing by selling that injury, no matter what any fan of the NFL or of pro wrestling or whatever said. He did not do the right thing. And I think a lot of people have just said, he was nuts doing that. No.
Bill, and this is where I was about to go, so we were both thinking the same thing. Here's the problem I have. Teddy, have you heard this story, by the way? Because I know you've been gone all weekend, so...
What story about? Well, I seen something on social media where he was laying in the ring with the neck brace on. I did see that.
Yeah, he did an interview they were doing the NFL draft, and Tony's there for the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, and he's got the neck brace on, and he's being interviewed by the NFL in a program where he starts talking about the injury, but he took it further, and that's the problem, Bill. He did great until he opened his mouth and started comparing WWE to Harvey Weinstein.
Well, that was wrong. That part was wrong.
He killed everything at that point. Everything he did prior to that, he killed in that one single moment. You're in a huge audience where you can get your word out about your company, and the only thing you can do is stay with the people who are staying rent-free in your head and promoting them instead by talking about WWE. It is stupid, it's childish, and it's got to stop, or that company will not survive.
Who cares?
Just my personal opinion.
Yeah. I told y'all this guy's clueless, man. I'm telling you right now. If he'd have sit down, I don't know whether he sit down with somebody to help him get that promo together or not. But I'm sure if some of the writers, or maybe they might have been scared to tell him. But if he went over that with somebody before he went out there, I'm sure somebody would have told him, "No, we can't say that."
Well,
or if they did, maybe.
This was on a sports show.
Yeah, so it wasn't any writers. This just came out of his head.
Well, that's all on him then.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely is. And it is a shame. Now, I do want to mention, too, that the storyline that got him hurt, leading up to that even, Tony, I don't know how to say this because Tony is nice. He is a nice guy. He does not mean malice. He really doesn't. The problem, though, is that Tony is not educated enough to be in the position that he is in wrestling. He can do a lot of things. He can fund a lot of things, but he is the last person that needs to be making these calls anymore. And him going out and being a part of the program and getting punched in the stomach and taking a backdrop from the punch in the stomach.
Yeah.
And then falling flat like you're dead completely. Then you jerk a little bit and roll over like you're hurt. The entire thing was pitiful acting. It was just not well done. And it's because somebody else needs to step in when it comes to creative in AEW.
Well, you know what I think is going to happen?
Maybe he won't listen. Maybe he's one of these guys you can't tell what to do.
I think what's going to happen here,
agree.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to take Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks,
that's my next
topic, CEO, and she's going to run the company on screen. I think that was the reason for them doing this. I think she may get hooked up with the Young Bucks, but like I said, for him to have worn the neck brace, that was cool. For him to compare the WWE with Harvey Weinstein. Teddy, what is, in all the years you've been doing this, with a worked injury, what wrestler do you remember selling that a worked injury like everywhere? Besides like Andy Kaufman, when he did it, he wasn't a wrestler.
God, I don't know, man, but there have been guys that took the injury. I mean, you saw them in the airport. They had the crutches or whatever it was, everywhere they went. Even if they went out to eat or they went to a restaurant or something, they still had the brace on or the crutches or whatever they were supposed to have. But there have been some guys. Well, that's the way we were brought up back in the day, old school.
Yeah.
You make people believe. If they don't believe in you, then they're not going to buy no ticket to see you.
It's Teddy, well, you and Bill both know I was in independent wrestling, and there was a time, even back when I was wrestling, this is back in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. And during that time, I was doing a run with a guy who I did not get along with at all in front of the fans. We hated each other, oil and water. And we ended up in the same restaurant after a wrestling show one night. Well, fans were in there too. Even at that level of where I was, we had to kayfabe. When I got up, stormed out, we had a little face-to-face right there in the restaurant, and I walked out because that's how I was raised. I still think that needs to be done to a point in wrestling today. But Teddy, I guess you always say it's now entertainment. But I miss that mystique.
You're exactly right. That needs to be done. But no, and it's a moving pace now. Nobody's got time for that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Look here, is there anything that you had mentioned, Sasha Banks, Bill, or
Mercedes Moné?
Mercedes Moné, CEO. She is not getting over. I'm telling you, every single person they bring into this company comes in and it's flat. And she is no different. She has not made a single difference.
Adam Copeland. There's no big buzz about him, but at least he's getting over very strongly.
I think that really the only person that came into that company that probably benefited from coming from WWE over to AEW is Christian. That's really about the only one from that switch right there that actually is probably at the top of his game. The rest of them don't really have stories.
Well, I think Adam Copeland is too, but it's funny that you bring that up about people getting over there. Cody Rhodes was interviewed recently, and I don't remember where it was, but he was talking about being one of the founders of AEW and that they couldn't have done it without him. And I agree with this, but he says that he hopes they stay in business because there's not room for everybody in one company, and people have families. The wrestlers have families, the talent has families, and they need to get work somewhere. And AEW is, the alternative where they have money where people can make a living. No matter what you think of them.
And of course, what I'm saying is not a knock on the workers there, the guys in the ring. It's not their fault that you got talent there. You're just not utilizing the talent properly. So they're not being highlighted. And a lot of these guys, Teddy, you can speak to this. A lot of these guys are very much into their craft and they like to take pride in their work and they don't want to be represented incorrectly in the ring. Am I right?
Exactly.
I mean, your value goes down if you go to a company that just doesn't do anything with you.
I mean, look at Saraya. Look at Paige.
Is she still there?
We were all thrilled when they booked her.
Yeah.
And then, is she still there?
How about Miro?
Well, Miro is still injured. I did an interview with him, which is on WrestleBinge. He's still injured. You know who one of the best workers in there is, and they do stuff with him periodically, and you're both going to laugh, is Billy Gunn.
I like Billy. Billy can still work.
He works great, and they should do more with him. Even though he's a veteran, he can still work as good as anyone else, and maybe better.
They need to be using Billy's brain. That's what they need to be using from him. He's one of the guys that should be in charge of creative.
Absolutely.
But see, again, somebody must not be listening. You've got the talent there that knows. Somebody not listening.
Why do you keep saying must not? Ain't no must not. They're not listening.
And they're going to need a defibrillator before too long if they're not careful. Let's see. Anything coming up for you guys we need to talk about? We're about to run out of time here.
Well, ain't nothing coming up for me, but I'm getting ready to lay down and try and get some rest.
All three of us will be in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, we will be in St. Louis for the Fan Fest too. We had Herb Simmons on with us on Road Trip After Hours just on our last show. You can find that on YouTube. Thank you. And Herb kind of laid out everything that you need to know and the possibility that Teddy brought up that Randy Orton may very well be there in attendance as well.
Well, I'm gonna confirm that. I had me and Randy talk, so I did talk to him there. So Randy will be there.
And I have found out that the Friday night when I'm doing my one-man show, a record of 11 tickets have been sold already. So I can't wait to get there.
Yeah, that is a record. If you sold 11 tickets.
You got to hear what Teddy said about you on the last Road Trip After Hours, talking about your one show.
I did.
All right, guys. By the way, if you want tickets to Fan Fest 2 in St. Louis, it's May 17th and 18th. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. It starts on Friday night with Bill's.
Go ahead.
It's going to start with Bill Apter's one-man show on Friday night, and then Saturday we have the Fan Fest beginning at 10 a.m., followed later in the afternoon by the Hall of Fame, and then, of course, wrestling that evening. It's a lot of fun. We were there last year, and we're looking forward to coming back again this year.
Teddy, what would Freddie Miller have said?
Be there.
Be there, right.
Be there.
And I just want to say one more thing before we go. Bill, I mentioned your one-man show that you're having right there, so I'm going to be a guest on there. So now there's 12 tickets.
Yep. Ooh, I like that. I encourage my guests to be on the show.
All right, we're out of here. I'm your host, Mac Davis. That is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and of course, pro wrestling journalist Mr. Bill Apter. We'll see you next week.
See you at the matches. You.